Snoochie Boochies Noochies. This is Stuck on Rewind. I'm Josh.
I'm Zach.
I'm Tristan.
And we are movie dicks. And we just watched a movie. What movie did we watch, Tristan?
This week we watched Mallrats, 1995 Kevin Smith film. Not quite as bad as Clerks.
Not as bad. Starting off strong.
We'll get into our favorite Kevin Smith movies.
Okay.
Yoga hosers.
Mallrats is a 1995 American buddy comedy film written and directed by Kevin Smith, starring Jason Lee, Jeremy London, Shannon Doherty. Doherty? Claire Forlani, Ben Affleck, Jason Mewes,
Is your
George
family from
Joey.
Scotland?
Yeah, it is. That's why I like mispronouncing it. It's an English name. Oh, Joey Lauren Adams.
We'll get into that.
I fucking hope.
She is the hottest chipette, yes.
Oh my god, yes. All right, we'll get into it in a moment. Second film in the View Askew universe movie release after 1994's Clerks, though technically, chronologically, in that universe, Mallrats actually takes place a day before Clerks does.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you can actually tell because the girl who dies at the beginning in the pool, her wake is being held the day that Clerks takes place.
You see, I'm confused because the end of the movie has them walking off with a chimp, and I thought when Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the movie starts with them with a chimp.
Oh yeah, because that's a later story.
It's a different chimp, I think.
It's a different chimp. All chimps look alike. Am I?
Well, the joke of Jay and Silent Bob is they're always doing throwbacks to themselves. So they're always referencing previous View Askew universe properties.
So it's like Tarantino film.
That's been the same joke Jay and Silent Bob have been doing for 25 years now. So.
And now they're feeding people movie sandwiches in person.
Well, I have to say, the movie was okay. So I laughed.
High praise.
It was critics. If you read the reviews, the critics panned it like universally. Like it was hated on so much. But when I watched it for the first time when I was a teenager, I couldn't stop laughing. Like I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I think it's one of those things that like it's definitely made for a very specific audience. Very specific audience. Stoners who
I
read
agree.
comics.
I remember I saw it when I was around 14 or 15, and yeah, it is that kind of thing. It's the gross out. Hey, we cuss a lot. We smoke weed. We hang out at the mall. We're teenage boys. It's made for that sort of audience. So I can definitely see how you'd relate to that at that age.
I mean, Stan Lee. I think that was the first time I saw Stan Lee in anything. Like he was just a made-up name so far.
Yeah, we gotta keep in mind that was a time when Stan Lee wasn't completely ubiquitous. It wasn't just when is he going to show up in this movie because he has to. It was a rare sight to see Stan Lee.
True.
Yeah, no, this was pre-Spider-Man Stan Lee.
Yeah, this was pre-comic craze Stan Lee. This is when being like into comics made you were considered a weirdo. Where now it's
you
basically
actually
weird
read
to not
comics
be
instead of just watched movies.
Yes.
Owning T-shirts.
Yeah, when it was a cult property, it was more not before the Marvel Uber Alles.
Yes.
That we're in now.
So when it was released, it was being advertised as a smart Porky's. Would you guys agree that would meet that qualification?
A smart
not
what?
Porky. Smart Porky's.
Okay. Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. I'd say it was a raunchier Revenge of the Nerds would be closer.
Revenge of the Nerds has borderline rape scene in it. I don't know if this went that far.
That's true.
Not enough borderline rape
Yeah,
scenes
I mean,
in this one.
yeah. So I think that like the script, a lot of it, like Kevin Smith wanted to flex his vocabulary. So he would throw in a lot of awkward words and make these sentences that no teenager in their right mind would ever say. And I think that kind of took me out of it a little bit. I'm like, that's Kevin Smith talking. It's not the character.
Yeah, the dialogue I thought was a little poor compared to Clerks. The reason why it worked was because it was so banal. It was these people who go to the same minimum wage job every day and just do that, and not a lot happens.
Supposed to be here today.
Say that again.
Oh, so I was just doing back the Brian Holler and You're not even supposed to be here.
And I was supposed to appear. That's right. Yeah.
It's my day off. It's my last day. I was about to retire.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, well, Brian Halloran also appearing in this is the suitor number 3 with just a mullet you've never seen before. It's really something.
Oh. Not since '95.
Not since '95. And speaking of people who you wouldn't expect, Michael Rooker.
Who the fuck was that?
Michael Rooker, the girlfriend's dad, the bald guy.
Oh, right,
yeah.
super douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly known for playing serial killers and tough guys. He's in The Walking Dead and some other things.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, he's in this to
fucking...
great comedic effect. Took me in the first few minutes. I was like, wait, but that could be. Oh, that's Michael Rooker, and yeah, really.
Yeah.
Utilized pretty well in this, I think.
Yeah, before he got into biker gangs and doing crank.
Yeah.
Jane Silent Bob
Killing
ruined his
zombies.
career. Go figure. What did you guys think of the protagonists? Because, like, I thought the main guy was kind of a douchebag. Like, he would get angry
And I thought
so
Jason
quickly.
Lee was a bigger douchebag. So.
They were perfect for each other
They're
then.
made for
Yeah,
each other.
like they're two douchebags who had a good friendship. I guess that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you can see how coming off of Clerks, it's really this story is kind of a vindication for Kevin Smith because it was, nobody said I was going to do anything, and now I'm a big-time Hollywood director, and you got kind of the sense that he saw this in these characters as well, where, yeah, we're slackers, we work at this mall, we don't do anything, but, we're going to be great, we're going to get the girl, we're going to do it at the end. It is kind of a rags to riches, or I guess a nerd to success story he's trying to go to, but you realize, like, really, all the girls are kind of right about them. They are kind of losers who just hang out and read comic books and
play Sega.
Ben Affleck, douchey though he may be, I think he'd end up getting the girl in the end, possibly.
Yeah, and handcuffs.
Yeah.
For banging a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that at some
Yeah,
point.
we'll get there. So,
That's recent.
well, yeah, there's a lot you could say about that. A lot of the humor is humor you will not see like fly in today's comedies. But then again, you won't see comedies anywhere anymore. But oh my goodness, like you don't hear the R word anymore.
Wait.
Very true.
What word is
It's
it?
throughout in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Right.
Not to sound PC by censoring myself, but like.
The R word that rhymes with crank.
Yeah, no. The one that rhymes with etard.
Okay.
You silly
Yeah.
goose. But
And, actually, to your point there, Zach, about how they started off, it was two workaday guys who had jobs. These guys don't even have jobs. They just hang out at the mall.
Yeah, they hang out at the comic book store, and he didn't even know Stan Lee was coming to the comic book store, meaning the people who work at the comic book store hate him. That's how much of a loser this guy is. The people at the comic book store did not want him there.
yeah, there was a backstory to that.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. Maybe in the DVD.
Well, let's get into that now you brought that up, the kind of version debacle we realized. So Josh and I obtained our copy of the movie through the same kind of means.
Legitimate means.
Some interesting means. And Tristan, I believe, I don't know, from...
I'm the jerk who paid for it.
Yeah, from Prime or something.
You fool.
And then both Josh and I kind of realized
What a
something a few minutes in. We were watching the extended cut, the 10th anniversary extended cut with 30 extra minutes of material. Now, the way you can tell this is because it starts off with this kind of very fancy ball being thrown by the governor of New Jersey, and then there's a sniper incident on the roof, all kind of extra stuff that I didn't remember, and then I realized that's because we're watching this extended cut put out by Kevin Smith 10 years later. With all kind of extra scenes, 30 extra minutes, bringing this to a full 2-hour movie.
It didn't feel like 30 minutes when I watched it, so I'll grant it that, but I was confused the entire time because I wasn't sure if I had the right movie.
Well, it's terribly edited too, because it's the stuff they do put in, it just cuts from here to there. There's missing dialogue. The ADR is screwed up.
Tristan,
so it wasn't like it was a good cut they went through and really made sure it was all fixed, everything was good. It wasn't a Snyder cut where they managed to reshoot the whole thing. It's just kind of all over the place, even more so than the movie regularly is.
Where did the movie start when
a
you
little
watched
bit. It tells you kind of the backstory, because I guess
Right,
if you watch the original version, it's just kind of implied that he ruined the governor's ball the day before, and in this, you
Yeah.
actually get to see it in all its glory.
Yeah,
Tristan,
Michael Rooker was in trouble.
How
for
did
some
it begin
reason.
for you? I want to hear what your version was like. Probably the actual version.
Yeah, it started for me the same place. I remember seeing it on Comedy Central when I was like 8 years old or something. And again, I thought this was the most fucking hilarious thing I'd ever seen. And it brought all kinds of new swear words to my elementary school. But it's just that part where TS is pulling up in that busted ass station wagon, and like Brandy's sitting there on the on her dad's porch, all mopey and shit, because she's about to lay it on him that he fucking killed some girl by telling her she was gonna look fat on television.
No.
So yeah, it started right there for me.
I feel like that probably. I mean, that's probably a better way to start the movie.
Yeah, it's just what I loved about this film, like it just drives straight into the plot, like for that first half hour. Like you really get a fast pace out of it. It doesn't feel like it's dragging. Like the fuck up is front and center. They lose their girlfriends. Answer to all their problems. Let's fucking hang out at the mall and get some cookies, bro. Let's buy some comic books.
It's the perfect hangout, like stoner movie, honestly, and some great bits such as the boat, the sailboat. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
That was
his
yeah,
character.
that character's
I've
great.
never seen anything in one of those paintings either. So
Oh, you're one of.
yeah, I know what he's going from.
Thank God!
As a kid, I would always see those, and I got nothing out of it.
Oh.
So I totally get it.
Like that was an inside joke for people in my neighborhood, in my school, for like a long ass time. You know, like just the
That
sailboat.
with Ethan Suplee, who besides I think Ben Affleck has had one of the most prolific careers of everyone in the movie. I think maybe Jason Lee.
I don't even think Jason Lee works more than like twice a day.
What does he do?
Well, he did My Name Is Earl, and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
that was about it. Well, no, he did those Chipmunk movies. Those made like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Dave Seville in the Chipmunk movies.
Are you fucking serious?
What a career. What a career. But then
Yeah.
again, Ben Affleck went to play Batman. So, I mean, anything's possible.
Ben Affleck is a Oscar-winning director.
Yeah. But he also played in Justice League.
What the fuck did he? What did he direct?
What was the name of that movie?
Argo.
Argo,
Geely?
that's right.
Argo.
Argo.
Geely.
that one?
That got runner-up that year at the Oscars. It was a close second. Yeah. Twitter went crazy.
I remember him getting shit canned for that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's recovered from more
Like never
disasters, movie disasters, than a lot of other actors I can think of.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, you know, for how much of a travesty that film was, or, you know, is alleged to be, did still smash shit.
Oh, true.
I think we guessed Josh's pick for next week. Geely.
Oh no, I've not been able to watch the movie. I think I had it on before.
You mean I was in the Chipmunks?
Yeah. Terrible.
All right, so yeah. I mean, are there any redeeming qualities about these two characters we can parse out?
They're determined.
They're losers.
But they're
See,
determined.
at least with Randall and Dante from Clerks, they're very thoughtful. They're kind of these, you know, almost these, you know, the guys from Waiting for Godot. They're like philosophers who got, you know, stuck in this kind of menial jobs. But these two guys aren't even smart.
No.
You know, they don't have any interesting conversations the whole time. Even when he's talking to Stan Lee, his knowledge just comes across as very surface level. I don't know. I didn't really see
Focused
anything
on
good about these guys.
superhero dicks.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he had, like, there was one interesting conversation, like, and it wasn't really a conversation. It was more like Jason Lee just, you know, fucking unloading his opinions on superhero insemination. He was talking about how Superman and Lois Lane could never have children because the kid would kick through her fucking stomach if she got a tan.
And do you know what the one superhero movie that actually did that bit was? Have you seen
No way.
Hancock?
Really?
Yeah, there's a
No,
bit
I
in
never saw
Hancock where he takes the girl into his trailer, and then she's riding him, and then at the last second he throws her off, and you see these kind of light bullets shooting through the roof of his trailer.
Was that in the original cut?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't remember that.
I remember though from watching it. That happened in Hancock.
I always imagine Will Smith uncut.
Yeah. Oh God.
I actually met the dude one time. He's a pretty cool
What
guy.
was that like?
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking weird.
No, if you have a Will Smith story,
I was
people will stay and listen if you share it.
Well,
How gay
so
was it?
It was. Oh man, I would have jerked him off there, right then and there, if he'd have let me. It was
Next time.
bodyguard. No, he didn't have a body. I was an extra in a movie. I was casted as a punk rocker. Fucking surprise. And with a bunch of other kids who were all like conscripted through like following some shitty band's Facebook page, and they were offering gigs for like a full night shoot, so that's double time for a bunch of broke ass kids, and it took them like 7 takes to get this like punk show scene going with all these fucking punk kids who'd never been in a movie before. And one kid snuck in like an 18 rack of Miller Lite in his jacket.
My man.
And at one point he's passing them all out, and like somebody like crushes the can and throws it, and the director stops the whole fucking production. Like, hey, what? Do you fucking know how expensive this is?
Oh my God.
You fucking guys gotta get
That was a
right.
wasted
I thought
opportunity.
like, hey, Miller is not the sponsor here, all right? This is
No.
strictly a
Brought to you
keystone
by-
shoot, sir. All right.
Seal reserve.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, gentlemen.
Oh jeez. But no, Will Smith was super fucking cool, and he like got all of us back on his side, even though the director was being a dick.
Who was the director?
He's just super fucking cool guy. I'm not sure if I can say.
Yeah, let's
this.
not say the name of the movie.
No, let's say it, and then
Yeah.
let's tweet at him.
let's get big. All right, well, you can edit this out if you
Okay.
want to, but it's I don't even David Ayer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, David. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was on the set of Bright.
Okay. Oh, wow. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Bright. Oh my God, what a piece of shit. I mean, we don't get to-
Yeah, dude, I was so disappointed.
I love David
watched
Ayer
it.
too, and I was like, "This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fucking Training Day." But D&D, no. Ooh.
It was not.
This may or may not be included in the podcast. We'll decide on it later. Whether or not.
Ayer
Well,
or
yeah.
Let's talk about his new movie. What's it called? The one with Shia LaBeouf where he pretends to be Mexican.
No idea.
Okay, then we won't go into it, but it's Shia LaBeouf walking around a tats like, "Hey, yo, Holmes, what's up, SA?"
Oh, goodness.
Oh fuck!
This came out like
lived in
last
LA
month,
like
and
2
I could
years
see
or
from your reactions how well it did.
He did some movie recently that was loosely based on his life. That was not
David
bad.
Ayer?
No, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, Honey Boy. Yeah, no, Honey
that
Boy was good.
That was actually pretty decent.
And there's the Peanut Butter Falcon, which went full
R word.
full Down syndrome.
Full
Yeah,
E-tard.
full E-tard. guys.
All right, let's bring it back to Mallrats.
Right.
Yeah, so really, I guess the last thing we'll say about the extended cut is all the extra scenes that were added are sort of in the beginning, and really, I thought kind of subtracted from the quality of the movie overall because they weren't really needed. It made it a 90-minute movie into a 2-hour kind of trudge, so I wasn't really feeling it. Would have rather watched the original cut. And even on the Wikipedia page, they say these are all scenes that were removed because they received a negative audience reaction.
They were, well, this is the thing. They screened this originally at E3, and it got a standing ovation. And E3 was buzzed like about the coming of this movie. So the executives and everyone were pumped up, like, we got a hit on our hand maybe, you know? And then when it came out, apparently, after its first day in 640 theaters, it made $400,000.
Ooh.
That's
Wow.
bad. $6 million budget. And then the next, altogether, it's opening, total gross $2.1 million with a $6 million budget, plus who knows how much on top. But originally they thought it was going to be a success. They were wondering if this is the one. And I think retroactively, if you add all the decades, now it made a lot of money because it's kind of a cult thing, you know? But like
Yeah, the VHS
the VHS
sales,
sales, I know, and the DVD sales. Like one of the things I watched earlier was like a 10-year anniversary thing about it, and they had like all the actors and everything. And yeah, I mean, apparently it's doing really well still in that way, in that respect. So it was a slow burn. Apparently,
Well, it's a
yeah.
question of if they can release it or not. I saw Kevin Smith speak last year when he was doing the roadshow of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and he was saying that a lot of his movies you can't get now because they're owned, of course, by the Weinstein Company.
Mm.
And
yeah.
well, before everything came down, Harvey Weinstein, a few days before, kind of gave him a call. I was like, oh, yeah, Dogma, all this other stuff, we're going to re-release it. You're my boy. You've always been so good to me. And Kevin Smith was like, okay, cool, he's on board. And then immediately it happened, and you realize he was just looking for people to put in the lifeboat with him before everything sank. So this is part of the reason why I believe there has not been a Blu-ray release of Dogma and some of the other stuff that he did with the Weinstein Company in the 90s. And for all the things you can say about the Weinsteins, they did make it possible for Kevin Smith to continue making these movies in the 90s.
Well, this is
so successful.
This makes this way more clear. Apparently, the executives told Kevin Smith they needed a movie that had more young tits. So, so that would explain the Weinstein's.
Who'd have saw it? Who'd have saw
exactly.
it coming?
Apparently, that was a thing that
I really like that scene
Then why do you
where
only
he's
see
giving it to that 15-year-old.
Joey Lauren Adams with her shirt on when she's in the bathroom changing?
Oh my God, Joey.
she
Lauren
was nude
Adams.
in. Or wait, I'm
No,
mixing up
wasn't.
the names.
Maybe Chasing Amy.
Joey Lauren Adams, yeah, she was naked twice in the movie.
Yeah, you definitely got to see some of
Yeah.
those. Those beautiful little A cups of hers.
With that insanely
Yeah,
obnoxious voice.
Joey Lauren Adams is like a grungier, more Gen X version of Renee Zellweger.
Oh,
but with
yeah.
an
Yeah.
infinitely more obnoxious voice.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that voice. that thing does it for me.
Well, she was dating Kevin Smith for a while. It's
that
why
makes
she
sense.
showed
Get
up in
the
so many of
fuck
his
out.
movies. So
Is that also why she ended up starring as the lead lesbian in Chasing Amy?
Probably, because he hires his
'Cause they
friends.
broke up?
He hires his friends. So they didn't want Jay in the movie. He had to fight the producers to even let him be in the movie. They were going to recast him. One of the people was going to be Seth Green, was in backup to play Jay.
Can you fucking imagine what a tragedy
I
that
know.
would be?
well, Jay is arguably the funniest person in any of those movies.
He's what
just
makes
how
the
over
movies,
top he is.
honestly.
Yeah.
He's not a
Fuck
lead
yeah.
per se, but you have him do his bits.
He's just
you
himself.
throw him in there, have him do his thing, and he just makes it more enjoyable. The whole thing, the movie shined when he was doing his thing.
No, dude, those fucking dance moves he
Yeah,
busts
dude.
out right in the fucking intro shot of him and Jay and Silent Bob.
No, that was great.
Fucking-
You did a really good
Oh,
impression.
it's beautiful.
But yeah, he's by far the best part of a lot of those movies is him. So yeah,
Yeah, we got Jason Mewes, and we got Brian O'Halloran. Of course, from the star of the original Clerks, who's showed up in pretty much every Kevin Smith movie since in some capacity or another. So there's a lot of these friends who
can't get rid of him.
he's been using for the last 25 years and will still continue to
And
use.
also starred in that in the sort of precursor to the View Askew production house, Vulgar. Have you guys seen this fucking movie?
Vulgar.
No.
Vulgar. So you know that weird the View Askew weird stripper clown, that little cartoon that they play usually before the movie. It's View Askew is Kevin Smith's production company, but they've got this little cartoon of a fucking clown that is a party clown. And there's a little kid playing with a ball, and the clown goes behind a screen, and he comes back out, and he's dressed in this raunchy fucking stripper outfit, black thong, and he takes a picture with the kid with his ass pressed to his face.
No.
But
Sorry.
anyway, yeah, no,
Okay.
sorry.
to make a long story
Yeah.
longer,
Go for it.
yeah,
Make it
Vulgar
something
was-
longer.
yeah. Oh. Clowns, man. So Vulgar was this original movie, and it was about a party clown played by Brian O'Halloran, who was down on his luck, and then he has this brilliant idea over dinner with a friend at the Olive Garden, eating free breadsticks, where he's like, hey, I should fucking, what if the clown was a stripper clown? You you hire like a stripper for your buddy's stag party or whatever, and like instead of like hot babes, you get this fucking stripper clown. It's a great joke. That would make so much money as a prank, and he does. And spoilers, the first gig he gets as a stripper clown is by these fucking like inbred crazy fucking dudes, like this father and his inbred children, and they rape the shit out of
wow.
him.
What?
Beat him senseless, and he's scarred for the rest of the movie.
So it keeps going after that? What a terrifying movie.
Yeah.
You have strange taste in film.
Oh,
So this predates the more horror-oriented Kevin Smith we've been seeing in the last decade or so. You know, really fucked up things like Tusk and
Yeah,
Red
because that
State.
sounded,
Wow.
what you described sounds like Red State almost.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it made me think of Red
Oh,
State.
that dark side was always
Yeah,
there.
yeah. My goodness.
Yeah, Mallrats was a great like a huge like positivity booster. There's just so much like silliness and bullshit that goes into the
Yeah.
film. But ultimately lighthearted. I think it's really
It's
Yeah,
a-
one thing.
on a shit day.
Yeah, well, one thing in particular is the fact that Silent Bob keeps thinking that he has the Force, and that's for me that's one of the most inside stoner jokes ever, because you know every time you get high, you know the remote's always across the room. What's the number one thing? You're always like, today the Force is really gonna work, just for this remote. You know, years and years and years I tried that, yet to work. It's definitely something I can relate to in that.
The trick is smoke more weed. Duh.
Exactly. You smoke enough weed, you'll get the Force. Yeah.
So, like, something I do like about movies like this, like Waiting, this, or like Dazed and Confused, it all takes part in or it's like a day in the life of. And like you kind of
yeah.
like this crazy day, you know, and maybe it's not even that crazy necessarily for them. They're just kind of always in these weird situations, or you know,
And the same thing with Quirks. It's like, you know, it's not over the top in the situations that happen, but you know, some interesting things happen, and it's all.
and that's
over the course
fun
of a day, it's just a day in
storytelling.
their
If
lives.
you have strong characters, you can do a day, a life in the day. You have to have really strong characters though, because you have to be interested in like how they interact with all that stuff. And all in all, like it's just the main characters, like. I don't like the main guy a whole lot. What's his name?
TS.
TS?
Yeah. T.S. Quint.
Yeah, I'm not his
Tough shit, Quint.
right. Jason Lee is good. I like Jason Lee. Like he was definitely what kept the main storyline
Jason
moving.
Lee gets away with it because his burns are funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the part where they're on the game show is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Fuck
With
yeah.
timing and charisma. Yeah.
And the fucking stories about his fucking cousin Walt, man.
Oh. Yeah.
Actually, I think
on the
that's how the
airplane.
movie actually begins. Yeah, well, there's two stories that he tells. The first one at the very beginning is about, like, it's the intro where they have the montage of all the different stores in the mall, and he's just talking about his cousin Walt going in to buy a gerbil. And no. He goes and buys a cat from the mall, and he gets it stuck in his ass, and, like,
That's
he goes to
right.
the hospital, everybody finds out
Yeah.
about it, and he does it again and again and again, and then Jason Lee runs into him, he's like, what the fuck, man? Like, why are you getting another cat? Like, you're just gonna get this one stuck in your ass too. He's like, how else am I gonna get
Yeah, exactly. And I think that one was actually, yeah. I wonder, I sometimes say jokes similar to that, and I'm wondering, am I just like, is that something I watched 20 years ago that's stuck in my head? And I've just disassociated I learned it from, you know?
Yeah, just riffing on an old Kevin Smith joke
Exactly,
from the 90s.
exactly.
Well, and Josh, you grew up in a time when people would still go to malls and just hang out in food courts all day. And,
I was gonna ask, what was it like hanging out in the mall in the
Yeah.
90s,
Well,
Josh?
Pull up a chair, youngsters, and let me tell you. You didn't really hang out at the mall. Like that, not the comic stoner types. You don't go to malls. You go to parking lots. You don't go inside the places though. So in that respect, like that was a weird thing, honestly, at the time, because the skaters, the stoners, the nerds, they didn't go to malls. So like combining the two together, like that's a weird combination in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's like an invasion.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like the only reason to go inside malls back then was Spencer's. And other than that, like you don't care about the jewelry stores or anything else. And once you're in Spencer's, you're in there so long they kick you out, and it's crowded in there constantly anyway. There's no room to move. It's not a fun place to be. You don't want to be at the mall inside. You want to be in the parking lot, skateboarding and getting chased by the cops. So like the whole mall location was strange. Like I don't think the two were really that closely related. But I mean, it makes sense for a story standpoint. You know, like you need to get like a three-nippled psychic in there. You need a douchebag who works as a manager in there. You know, you get all the characters in one location. So storytelling, it makes sense. But if it's meant to appeal to my generation at that time, like we didn't care about malls. Like that was not the place.
Yeah, now that you brought up the thing with the gerbil, and I'm thinking of, some of the other scenes, there is kind of a really, really dark kind of humor to Kevin Smith, almost kind of morbid, that you don't realize. Like, for example, there's the scene where I believe they're going to the funeral in Clerks, and he's discussing whether or not he's ever sucked his own dick, and he finally gets him to admit that he has.
Of course I fucking tried.
And the other guy's like, "What, you have, dude? That's gay. Like, I would never do that. It's your own dick."
Yeah, there was a lot of those double things, right? They're like accuse you of being gay, and as soon as you got defensive, they'll call you a homophobe. Like that was a couple bits in the movie. I love those double style type of jokes.
You heard how disgusted it sounded.
I'm not a homophobe. Oh, so you're gay. You just can't win. Just can't win. Can't play that game.
The 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really that kind of comes to its apex at Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back with all the jokes about Jay that Silent Bob is his non-gay husband, but that Silent Bob is actually gay, and the orangutan is their son, and they really kind of milk that, especially when they're talking to the idiot cop played by Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah.
Well, because I mean they do actually like get a sort of the hetero vetting when Boo Boo Kitty Fuck and her team of like assassin fucking bank robber like chicks or whatever in their van come along, and he falls head over fucking heels for her. I forget who plays that character. Who was that chick with the glasses?
Oh, it was Shannon Elizabeth.
Oof. Yeah.
And there was three girls in that group, one of whom is Kevin Smith's wife.
What?
The wife that made his daughter.
The wife who made Harley Quinn his daughter.
Yeah, the one that he's like obsessed with. And it's not creepy at all.
Well, he's obsessed with her and Johnny Depp's daughter.
Is he too?
Yeah, haven't you seen the later movies now where it's the two Canadian girls?
Oh, I didn't know. Like, yeah, I just watched the movie, but I didn't know there was any relation outside of the movie.
I mean, yeah, that's in Yoga Hosers, which everyone kind of just pretends that one didn't happen.
Yeah, for good reason.
Probably his worst movie.
Yeah.
Hockey,
yeah. The true
is it
the True North trilogy that was part of it has Johnny Depp as this kind of Inspector Clouseau like police detective from Montreal.
Oh, that's fun.
And the convenience store they work at is called A to Z. And A is spelled EH.
Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah, I've not seen that.
That's really.
It's
not
only
that
notable
funny,
because Kevin Smith plays a Nazi bratwurst.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Talk about typecasted. Yeah, right. Right. Are there any other details? Do we want to bring up the 15-year-old girl who has sex with everybody and writes a book called Borgasm?
She looks like she's about 25.
Yeah, she was casted as she's an adult for sure. I didn't look up her age, but there's no way she's 15. It's just a strange thing to throw in the movie. It's like,
and why 15?
Yeah, why 15? Like, at what state?
Like, why not 16?
Yeah.
And she was kind of cute. I don't know. I wasn't even like. That's the thing. She looks too old to be jailbait to have any kind of fetish thing with that. It's not believable.
Yeah.
But she's rocking the Catholic schoolgirl.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And it's like somehow her parents are all on board with her performing research because, like, as long as banging dudes is going to get her into a great college and a book deal, like, yeah.
Well, other than Michael Rooker, her parents don't exist. That's the this kind of an Ed and Eddie kind of thing,
That's also, I think, maybe that's like hearkening to the whole Beauty of the Mall. It's like just another place your parents aren't.
Exactly.
True. And they have cookies, so I'll grant them that. And comics. Yeah, this is maybe my malls maybe sucked when I was growing up. Maybe malls were the spot. I'm not sure.
in Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey.
Yeah.
The movie was recorded in
Jersey.
Minnesota, I believe. Isn't that where was the movie set?
Really?
Yeah, I think it was recorded
Well,
in
it's
Minnesota.
set in New
always in
Jersey.
there.
But
Is it set in New Jersey?
yeah,
Okay.
all the View
All of
Askew
these.
Universe movies are set in the same part of Jersey, usually Leonardo or somewhere like that.
Okay, I could be mistaken, but I thought I read that it was shot in Minnesota. But I could be mixing it up with something else.
No, it definitely could have been shot there.
Yeah,
But it's
setting.
for
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
set in Jersey. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
What about the shit palm?
I mean,
Is that what it?
oh,
Shit palm.
stink palm.
Stink palm. Stink palm. I don't know what it's called, but it's gross, and it still grosses me out. And whenever I see the actor who's part of that bit, I feel sad for him.
Whenever you see Michael Rooker, that's what you think
Yeah,
of.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is, to this day. It doesn't matter how tense he's playing a character. Like, I'm like,
Munching down on that chocolate covered
yeah.
pretzel.
I mean, talk about in one of the interviews, he just like says fans will walk up to him and offer him chocolate covered pretzels. Quite
So
often.
you're sitting there trying to watch Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, seeing him as menacing, and
Yeah, exactly.
see him just throwing up the whole time.
Right.
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
Exactly. It's his one weakness.
The fuck away from me.
Poor guy. Brave.
Yeah, there were two more things I was hoping to get to in this. Fucking. Oh god.
What do you got?
Yeah.
Did you write notes?
I mean, should we talk about the later Kevin Smith stuff? Or?
Well, here I'll bring this home. The Dirt Mall. What would you guys make of that?
The Dirt Mall. The backup mall? The
Yeah,
garbage mall?
Yeah, exactly.
I had one of those
When
in
they
my
get
neighborhood.
kicked
Yeah,
out.
in my city.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
It was called Eastland. Yeah, total garbage.
Yeah,
mall.
around here we call that the South Bay Galleria.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's a nice fucking
Right.
mall.
We grew up with the Delamo Fashion Center, world famous from Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown.
Delamo was the shit mall growing up.
Oh, come on.
It was terrible. Before they had that outdoor whole fancy setup and the fucking Urban Outfitters and the AMC was really legit. Like before that, it was pretty shit.
Okay. The Avenue.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
what I'm talking
literally
about.
the mall that's the mall I hung out at more than anything.
Yeah, me too.
So you guys were
'Cause
mall guys? Are you coming out to me?
Well, we tried to.
In middle school, it's where the chicks
Okay,
were.
got you.
And we never bought
No.
anything.
No,
Just
because
hung
this
out
one they
outside
still
the
had
Starbucks.
Sharper Image and Brookstone and these stores that were just a sky mall you could walk into,
Yeah.
where you didn't buy anything, you just would play with all their little overpriced toys and then leave. Much like a Spencer's.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe we just get drunk there.
Yeah.
The Dirt Mall is like this pilgrimage of theirs, like they're finally on the lowest of the low, in their hero's journey,
Yeah.
right? And it's only when you've confronted how low your station in life really is, because that's Brody feels welcome there. People know him. TS is all fucking embarrassed, and he tries to put on a hat to hide his identity. And he realizes it's got Clerks written on the front of it, and he fucking throws it
God.
away. But here's the real noggin scratcher for me, is when they go to the oracle, so to speak, the topless fortune teller. Great scene. Really well played, warm performance from that actress. But why does she eat the
That's
nipple?
what I was going to ask. I'm glad you brought that up. This
Yeah,
still
she acts like
bothers
it's the
me.
first time she does it, but you do this all day, every day. It's not some new thing.
I think she says cherry or strawberry. Is it a flavored nipple? Is that something that people buy?
Maybe they're.
I mean, I can get using spit to stick it on, but she was
Yeah, that part always did bother
enjoying
me.
it afterwards.
That whole scene
Yeah,
kind of bothered me for that reason. Yeah.
It was something she did on the fly and just fucking kept.
Improv,
And Kevin
yeah.
was like, "We're keeping
Yeah.
it.
No, you keep it
Yeah,
for sure.
That's gotta stay."
It didn't really add anything. No.
But it doesn't need to.
Just confusion.
Yeah, this type of movies, you want to throw in weird, crazy stuff anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter ultimately. I just wanted to.
I'm glad
see
you
somebody else's
remembered
take.
because, I wanted to.
Yeah,
How could I
that
forget?
did. I did catch that. Yeah.
But yeah, we can move on to like later Kevin Smith movies. So how does this stack up in the View Askew universe for you guys? Like, where does this rank?
Oh goodness. Well,
I mean,
Josh,
compared to, like, so I've seen, a friend of mine, especially, he loves Kevin Smith. He's seen everything he's done. And really the last 10 or 15 years have been kind of downhill for Kevin Smith. And there's a reason why. And a lot of people don't know this. Kevin Smith, believe it or not, was not a stoner and never smoked weed back in the day.
ooh,
Like, at all.
what a
Apparently.
poser.
Yeah, so he hadn't, and then at one
He's
point
canceled.
he did start smoking weed.
Okay.
And where was this? None other than the set of Zack and Mary Make a Porno with one Seth
What?
Rogen.
Oh.
Whoa, shit!
So shortly after that, Zack and Mary Make a Porno, he made Cop Out, which was universally derided. And then he basically said, okay, I'm going to go retire and smoke weed all day and just do my long Q&As and podcasts and write comics and all of that. Took some time off, and then he came back and is the, I don't know, it's been very interesting what he's done since then, because some of his stuff, Red State Tusk, it's actually very well done horror, but I found that all of his comedies lately have just been him trying to kind of recapture the past. Like I said, I went to see the Roadshow showing of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, where it was him and Jason Mewes, Jay, doing a Q&A every night. And I don't know if you saw that one, but that one is just joke on joke on joke from his old movies. It's just references, basically.
Well, because it's like Jay and Silent Bob like get reintroduced to each successive generation. It's like they started with the '90s crowd, and then like the aughts crowd was us, and then like
I mean,
now you've got those fucking like the late millennials, or whatever they're fucking called now.
Zoomers.
Zoomers, yeah.
Zoomers.
Gen Z.
So Reboot was just to introduce Jay and Silent Bob for Zoomers.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, his new stuff, it's pretty cringy. Like, he'd lost what he had like years ago. And so far as comedy is concerned. Like that.
Oh, but by the way, while we're saying this, they are currently working on the they're finally working on the Mallrats sequel. First, it was going to be a TV show.
Oh,
Then no network would take it. It was always other things. Now they're working on Twilight of the Mallrats.
Oh my, what?
Which will have.
Is that a Nietzsche reference? Twilight of the Idols?
Oh my god.
I guess so.
It's like staring into the abyss.
And it will have one of the girls from Jay and Silent Bob Reboot playing Banner, the daughter of Brody, and Shannon Doherty, and much of the
So
other
they're gonna be
cast members
Zoomer like girls hanging out at this fucking mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it'll be more like millennials, because that's Kevin Smith's daughter's age now. But
Did he get funding for this because Bill and Ted's getting a sequel, and they're like middle-aged recapturing of the generation?
We got to jump
Yeah,
on this,
exactly.
guys.
well, he's also
coming back.
working on Clerks 3.
Yeah, well, I've heard that for a long time.
No.
Well, no, that was stalled because the guy who played it was good to go. They'd scheduled everything. They were going to start shooting, and then like a few weeks before, the guy who played Randall dropped out, and it took them years, but they finally got him back on board. So apparently, Clerks 3 is now back on board. So we'll see.
Oh shit.
Maybe he'll have a renaissance.
Clerks 2, I enjoyed. It was
fine.
It was a lot different from Clerks, but
I don't like the argument.
I liked it.
I don't like the argument he used for Lord of the Rings.
No,
the Lord of the Rings argument. It bothers me, and it bothers me that people use it to this day. Where he's talking
about how he just walks up and throws the ring in. That's hilarious.
Why did they get the birds to fly them? I'm like, no. Like that, you can't just fly up there. It was all part of the plan. Gandalf died before he could get them to the birds. It all makes sense. Shut up.
No, but see, this is an actual. This is kind of what's great about Kevin Smith is these kind of nerdy conversations that go nowhere that you have when you're high, because we've all had that kind of thing, or the old one from Gilligan's Island. Why can't the professor just patch the boat and get them off there? It's always these really banal kind of conversations.
Because he's a virgin. This is his best chance of getting laid.
That's the best part of Clerks is when they're discussing whether blowing up the Death Star was justified because of all the independent contractors who were killed.
Oh yeah. Speaking as a roofer, you really got to consider the jobs you take.
Yeah.
Talks about his buddy getting shot because he was roofing some gangster's house.
So
yeah.
It's all justified.
Oh yeah.
And it seemed like Mallrats didn't have enough of that. They were trying to there's too many characters. There's all this stuff going on. That's why Clerks worked, 'cause it was reined in. It was these very few characters. You know, you saw Jay and Silent Bob in the background, but it was really all Dante and Randall at their jobs. Other people come in and out. And this one, you know, there was multiple leads. They both had girlfriends. Both the girlfriends had, you know, different guys or things going on. There was other girls. It was really kind of hard to keep track of, you know, who is this really about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask
you know, it was-
advertisers, it was about Shannon Doherty. She was the biggest name in the
definitely.
movie.
Yeah, she was.
By far, yeah.
And she wasn't even that good.
No, she did what she needed
Well,
to.
this was when she was on, was it 90210?
90210, and she was trying to break out in a film. I can't remember a lot of the story of that stuff back then. I was there, but I didn't really pay attention to that
You were
stuff.
more of a Dawson's Creek guy.
I mean,
Degrassi, let's
oh
be
god,
real.
that was way after my time, thank you.
Oh, man.
I bet you watched Daria, didn't you?
Whatever, I don't know. I don't know.
He did.
Dr.
I mean,
Katz.
cartoons were on TV. What counts as watching, what doesn't, I don't know.
He's hiding behind his pillow right now. for the listening.
For the listening audience.
Oh man.
Is there anything
Yeah, I don't know. So where does this rank for you, Josh?
in like all-time Kevin Smith movies?
Yeah.
Somewhere near the top for Kevin Smith, because he's done so many duds,
Yeah.
so much trash, to be honest. And it was not cringy. It was still fresh. He still felt like he was developing who he was. So like, there's a lot more potential there. And he was more like a lot of his side bit. He still does the sort of like story like progression, you know, like structure. But like in this, it seemed like it was more genuine. Like they got a lot of honest laughs when they were writing it and then performing it. Where like I think when he does that same sort of structure now, like it's a little bit more forced. Or it's like Zach was saying, reference as a way to save the scene. And it's like that just
Right.
it's not as good.
Like he makes meta movies.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Well, that's how it felt for me when I went to see the Jay and Silent Bob reboot show. 'Cause, you know, before they were playing all this '90s alternative music, and most of the audience there was a bit older than me. They're all in their 40s, even 50s and stuff. And yeah, really, the whole kind of thing was like, oh yeah, those were the days, man, the '90s, you know. And I'm seeing a little bit of that now that I'm getting a bit older. But yeah, it does seem like that's kind of his whole goal, is to kind of recapture that youthful Gen X spirit from the '90s and put it into the movies now, and it's not really working so far.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you really get the progression of the artist, I think, in this, like, for Kevin Smith. Because it's like, you know, Clerks was a pure passion project, maxed out all his credit cards to fucking fund it, got all his friends to be in it, and playing multiple roles. Like, even most of the crew were, like, playing multiple roles, like Scott Mosier and all the rest of them. They play, like, they're always playing, like, 6 different dudes. And they're in Mallrats, too. But, yeah, it's like, you know, he did all that, made it work, got him a hit, got him Miramax, signed by Harvey Weinstein, and like all that energy, fresh of like, holy shit, I literally don't have to have a fucking shitty job anymore. Like, I think that's why they don't have jobs like TS and Brody. Like, I think it's because that's just his.
He has no reference point.
He was able
yeah.
to like.
Well, I bet that's what it was. I bet, you know, Clerks came out. He was in his town. He was walking through the mall in his town, and he probably saw his friends from high school. And, you know, finally it was like, haha, motherfuckers, guess what? You know, look at me now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he just gets, like, so there's so much fresh energy going into it. Like, I do think, like, it's really near the top of his game. And, you know, like, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, it was a good, like, run at the, you know, the bickering bullshit, like Rotten Tomatoes reviewers who are always like just hating on shit just because, and like the names of nameless violence in verbiage that go against artists and the movies they make. Like, it was a good run at that, but like I definitely see the downward trend, especially after the whole Weinstein fiasco. Like, how would you feel as a director who literally got your start? Like, everything you have is basically owed to this guy, who turns out to be a total fucking scumbag.
I mean, that's true of a lot of people, unfortunately. Like Tarantino, you know, that's the thing about the Weinstein is, yes, he's terrible, but he could pick winners like almost no one else. You know, he could see something that nobody else could see, and you know, so he got all these all these independent artists brought them up. So it's obviously I'm not defending Weinstein or anything, but he so much of the 90s and the 2000s culturally was because of the stuff that he was able to do. And yeah, and it was like Kevin Smith was saying there, he, Weinstein acted like he was his friend, and really he was just looking to get Kevin Smith to go down with him. And still to this day, there's been no Dogma release, and you can't even stream it anywhere because of this deal that Weinstein made in the 90s.
I've got a fucking DVD. Yes, noise.
Yeah, and there's been no DVD re-release since that original release. Now all this stuff's up in the air, and the Weinsteins are so spiteful that they're not gonna just put stuff out again unless they're making money on it. So it's gonna be one of the great lost movies in a way, unless they start putting it back on Comedy Central. It seems like in the early 2000s, like you were saying earlier, these Kevin Smith movies were always on Comedy Central. I remember Dogma used to be on all the time.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's how I saw all of his movies, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start, unless anyone has any other final thoughts before we start rating.
I guess what's everyone's favorite Kevin Smith movie, and then the worst Kevin Smith movie of the ones you've seen.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say Clerks, pretty obvious choice for my favorite, and then Yoga Hosers is probably the worst.
I don't know, man. This might actually be like my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because for really what does it for me, and what did it for me with Clerks, is just a kick-ass fucking soundtrack. And that fucking punk cover with a chick singer of "Build Me Up, Buttercup," with Brody and Shannon Doherty are banging in the elevator. Just like, and Squirt Gun, the whole social thing is the theme for the mall. The social rules, they're social, meh. Never be social. It's hilarious. They go to the mall. I hate people, but I love gatherings. Isn't it?
It's so Gen X,
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So Mallrats top, bottom, Clerks 2, honestly.
Ooh, shots fired.
It had a lot of good going for it. Rosario Dawson and that whole ass to mouth justification.
Yeah. Sometimes you do go ass to mouth.
Sometimes you fucking do. And now the kids are all over the ass these days. So
that seems to be the big thing.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean you don't eat ass? You're like in middle school texting. I swear to God, man, these fucking kids. So how about you, Josh?
This might be the one I consider the best one.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I gotta change it up.
Dogma. Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, actually. Dogma's the best.
Fucking Dogma.
That's not even a competition, honestly.
No
way. George Carlin, Alan Rickman, Carrie Fisher.
Alanis Morissette as God herself.
Yeah. Yep.
Cop Out's my least favorite, probably. I just can't stand Bruce Willis in that movie, or anyone in that movie. It's just so cringy and so bad.
Oh, Tracy Morgan. Oh.
Yeah, Tracy Morgan's embarrassing. So embarrassing. And, Bruce Willis is embarrassing, and they have no chemistry. And, watching them together, it's just, so cringy. It's so bad. I couldn't finish it. It's yeah, right? Wait, one's a criminal and one's the cop? I think that's how it is. I can't remember exactly. It's been so long. I blocked it out.
I mean, it's that classic, ever since 48 Hours in the 80s, they're doing that same. Oh, it's a old, white cop, and then some other guy. It's been overdone so many times. Like Rush Hour did that. Just that whole two cops and their different thing. I don't know.
Two cops and their different
Lethal
thing.
Weapon. I mean, it's really been done so many times. It's been done to death.
Yeah. So how would you guys rate this movie? Who wants to start? Zach, start.
I mean, the extended one I didn't really care for, but now that I'm looking back after a few days and talking to you guys, I'd say I give it a 7. I was going to give it a 6, but I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Since Tristan picked it, I'll let him go last. I'm going to give it a C+. It's pretty good. It still made me laugh. Not a lot of comedies after so long that I've seen multiple times still make me laugh, and I got a few chuckles. Nothing hysterical, but still good. C+.
Yeah, I have to agree with you guys. Like, it's not quite laugh out loud. Like, there's a lot of like witty banter about comic book shit. You know, really hot women, great fucking soundtrack. But ultimately, I'm gonna have to give this a 69.
Oh shit,
man.
man. That's the perfect score,
Sneaky
dude.
snitch.
Oh, I take back my score. I give it a 68.
Pretty sure C plus is a 69, ain't it?
It's a D plus.
It's a
Yeah.
It's a D plus.
D, D plus the 69.
Double D.
Oh, Shannon.
Oh, right, please. So, I
Fuck,
guess
man.
I get
Sound
to
us
pick
off.
a movie for us to watch next week.
Yeah, to your pick.
It's a classic 1974 sci-fi fantasy that stars the hunky Sean Connery. A little
Oh,
bit
no, is this Highlander?
No,
Is it Highlander?
Zardoz.
No.
Zardoz.
Oh my
Good
God,
luck.
I just watched that shit. It's all okay.
Yeah.
All right, but you
Oh my
best be
God.
prepared. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
the whole time.
The penis
do.
is evil.
We're gonna do so many bad
The gun
impersonations.
is
So
good.
It's
All right,
gonna
buddy,
be
sign
good
us off, sign
or
us off.
terrible. All right, thank you, Internet. We are stuck on rewind, and until next week, toodaloo.